Serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 209 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of August 9th through 15th, 2021. My name's Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And we're opening the recipe trunk. Recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studios in the lab at Industry Hill. We are practicing social distancing using Zoom. Sponsored by Bull's Tavern. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcatchers like Apple Podcast, Stitcher, or Spotify, or anything like that, we'd appreciate a like, a follow, a rating, and absolutely hit that subscribe button so you know when the new ones are out. And if you're listening to us on the Triad Podcast Network, welcome and thank you. This episode of The Man Who Ate the Town is brought to you by Mojito Latin Soul Food, your go-to Cuban and Latin-inspired restaurant. Their Cubano sandwich is, to me, hands down the best sandwich in town. All the flavors punch you in the tongue, and the sandwich is made in the tradition that Michael grew up with, Michael Mion. And I think that's important because it's, you know, he knows that flavor. So Mojito Latin Soul Food does reservations, takeouts, has a rather large outdoor patio, and delivers to surrounding businesses like Fiddlin' Fish, Broad Branch, Wise Man, and others. Check out their Facebook page and MojitoLatinSoulFood.com. Once again, still, almost everyone is hiring. Get a job while you can. While it's available. Get it while it's hot, yes. And due to staffing, Clemens Kitchen is now closed on Mondays until further notice. They said it was the same thing with Crafted, except they're sticking in there. The ones who are there are busting their behindies, and it's difficult to push people like that.
Yeah.
Not due to staffing per se, but due to needing a break, Honky Tonk Smokehouse will be closed until next Tuesday, the August the 17th, for a much-needed vacation. Black Mountain Chocolate is having a Tiki Time Cocktail Lab on Thursday, the 12th. There will be two seatings, one at 6 and one at 8. It's $45 per person. Inspired by the Polynesian culture, tiki drinks have a fun history in the United States, dating back to the 1930s. These cocktails are notably layered with various spirits, flavored syrups, spices, and fresh fruit juices. Together, they'll all sample a variety of these ingredients and taste some unique cocktails for your next summer party. Go to the link on their Facebook page for the Eventbrite page to make your reservations today. And when you go, of course, tell them that I sent you.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like fun.
Yes. All right, soapbox time. So, last week, Michael Hastings posted, quite innocently, a request for any restaurants that plan to require vaccination proof to be allowed in to get in touch with him. I'm sure he was for a story. I knew it was going to be ugly, and I was, of course, right. People yelling about freedoms and HIPAA and all that jazz. I'm already tired of this discussion and the argument, so here it is. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. Let those who don't want to be vaccinated go without. Simple as that. No freedoms need to be violated. No one is forcing anyone to do anything they don't want to. You just can't go to some places without the proper membership card. You can't go to private clubs without membership. You can't get into fraternities without membership. Some people can't get the vaccine. Okay, let them get a dispensation from a reputable health professional or organization that says they can't. All that's inconvenient to you? Well, now you know how voter ID laws feel to the people that are affected by that, right? You want an ID for people to vote? We want an ID to live without worry about people infecting us. People are saying this will create a two-tiered society. Hello? It's already a multi-tiered society. It's just that the privileged that are usually on top don't like being on the second, third, or fourth tier. Life's not fair. People have a weird vision or definition of what freedom means. Freedom's not being able to do what you want. Freedom is having to face the consequences of your actions. You have a card in your wallet right now that permits you to drive, allows you to drive. Is that against your freedoms? You have to be 21 to drink in public and still be able to prove that you are. Is that against your freedoms? You have to have a ticket to get into a ball game. Can't just walk in because you want to. Is that against your freedoms? Sure, you can walk into a game without a ticket. You can drive without a license. You can drink underage, but you'll be kicked out if you're caught without a ticket. You'll be fined or jailed for driving without a license. You can be fined and jailed for drinking underage, and whoever gave it to you can be jailed or fined. So freedom isn't doing anything you want, like I said. It's living with the consequences of your actions. This isn't necessarily a political thing. I know plenty of liberal Democrats that refuse to get the vaccine too. This is a logical thing. Do you know why smallpox got eradicated? Do you know why mumps and measles aren't rampant right now? Vaccinations. They work. If you believe that your government is trying to implant chips or weed you out or whatever you got in your head, you have far more things to worry about whether you can get into your favorite restaurant. Again, life isn't fair, so suck it up, Buttercup. For once, it's not your shot to call. See what I did there with the shot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
So,
rather clever of you.
Yeah. So no one's infringing upon your rights to go anywhere. You just might not be able to get into it. And you know what? These are private businesses. You can boycott. You can do all this cancel culture bullshit that you always do. You know what? That's one more space next to me in these restaurants that I don't have to worry about somebody getting me sick. Don't want to get vaccinated? Then do without. Bottom line. Do without. And in the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I got to say about that.
You know, before my daughter went to school, before your son went to school, you had to provide a vaccination card to the school, didn't you? To prove that he'd had all his shots. My daughter had had all her shots before they were even allowed to walk in the school for day one.
Yep. Oh my God, their freedoms are stepped on then. No, that's total bullshit. And HIPAA only refers to your medical records. Your vaccination record is public record. So HIPAA is not violated here.
I mean, again, I've still got the vaccination card for my daughter. She's out of school. She's an adult now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've still got it, right?
Yeah.
So let's get past this and quit making disease political.
Mm-hmm.
This is life or death. Politics is just stupid. It's people in their own power and greed trying to get more power for themselves.
Yep. And funny how all the people who were bad-mouthing that vaccine 4 months ago are now wanting to blame the ones that don't have it now. Pat Ivey, the governor of Alabama, we should start blaming the people that's not vaccinated. And she was number one behind 45 in calling it a hoax and all this stuff's bad.
Yeah. I was talking with a nurse that said they had a patient that had come in unvaccinated that had contracted COVID. They were in excruciating pain. They got the really bad version of COVID. And they were asking, could they get the vaccine now? And the nurse said, that's like asking EMS if they can put the airbag in the car after you've had the wreck, because now it's going to save you.
Right.
It's like, come on now, we just be smarter about it.
Yep. Consequences.
We don't want to see anybody else die because of stupidity.
No. And I've said for a while that we have taken the choice away from Darwinism, natural selection, to weed out the people. And even though I want natural selection to do its work, I don't think this is the way. And it's such an I'm at a loss of words. They just get the damn shot or stay home.
Yeah.
I've done what I was supposed to do. No one forced me to do it. I did it because I wanted to. I enjoy going places. I enjoy being around my friends. I enjoy I love my wife, but I love not having to sit with her all day.
Yeah.
You know, and I did what I was supposed to, and now I'm getting to do things. Am I still at risk? Yes, but the vaccinated people, while they may still get sick, it is shown almost 100% that it's nearly as bad as what it is if I wasn't vaccinated.
Yeah.
This is pretty much a really bad cold. Not life-threatening, not any of the other stuff. And even if I spread it, it's not going to do the same thing that if I wasn't vaccinated. So,
Yeah.
and
When you're hearing that 99%, this is a stat I heard in the last week, that 99% of the new COVID cases and hospitalizations were people who were unvaccinated.
yes,
It's like, come on, folks, the stats are real simple. The people who are getting sick now are the ones who just didn't get the shot.
right,
So don't get sick. Go get the shot. This isn't about politics. This is about we need
Health.
to care for each other. And this vaccine allows a way for us to take care of each other. So take advantage of it.
And I think, partly, and again, this is not necessarily a political thing, because I know plenty of people who are on my side or our side of the aisle that do not agree with the vaccination part.
Mhm.
But I don't know where I was going with that.
You had something in mind.
I
but it
did.
just went somewhere else.
I totally did, and I had to throw that caveat in there, and that caveat threw me off. Anyway, do the right thing. That's what it. The problem has not been. I don't think misinformation. The problem has been misdirection. If we had told people at the very beginning of this that wearing a mask would protect them, they would have worn those masks like nobody's business. But when we told people that you wear the mask to protect others, we see that others are not anybody else's concern, because we think about ourselves. We all do. And had we told everybody at the beginning, we wouldn't be lying, because we're still in a way protecting ourselves by wearing a mask, then it would have, I think it would have been a whole different turn. But because it was going to help somebody else, screw them. Screw them, because it's not my job to care about anybody else.
I love the American way.
Yeah, absolutely. There's your freedom right there. Freedom. What I just said, all of that, my freedom to say what I want to. Now I have to deal with anybody who has any questions or comments or wants to throw stuff back at me, but I'm up for that, because you're wrong. and
Your First Amendment rights.
That's right. And you know
You get
what?
to speak up.
And I can deflect those things, because this is my forum and yours, but this is our forum, and someone else doesn't like it, then don't listen. You can send your comments, you can do all that stuff. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete them. And it's not because that I'm afraid to answer them. It's because I'm right. And nothing you're going to tell me is going to tell me any different. Because I believe in science. And science is pointing me in this direction. Overwhelmingly. Not just it could be. This is not theory. This is fact. This is proven. All
There's
right.
good science behind it.
Yes, I feel this soapbox creaking under my feet, so I'm going to put it back in the corner before I break it. on to happier things.
Thank you, sir.
Diamondback Grill is casual dining located in the heart of Buena Vista, Winston-Salem. It is a fantastic family-owned farm-to-fork restaurant that sources most of its ingredients from local farmers. Try one of their themed menu nights. I highly recommend Diamondback for your big and small events, a romantic dinner with your honey, or just go have a drink and appetizer and enjoy the ambience and the welcoming decor, which we did Saturday night. Stephanie and I. It was just a real quick. We had had a late lunch, a big one, because we went to the porch for lunch, and you don't eat small there. And
but you eat well.
You eat well. And we went to Diamondback for dinner, and we each had a salad. Believe it or not, I had a salad. But this thing was huge, and it was the spinach salad, and Stephanie had the beet salad special that goes with the steak night menu, which is Saturdays. Plus, I knew what was going to happen Sunday, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. So we wanted to go a little bit light. So, and that was Saturday. So let's jump back to Thursday when the referral group that Ray and I were charter members of, and we went to Mama Zoe's on Thursday, and we had 22 people in that room, one server, and nothing was wrong.
Wow.
That guy, his name was Nick, and he was leaving.
Phenomenal.
That was his last week in there because he's going to another restaurant here, and he's in nursing school. But there was the food was fantastic. So the kitchen did their job. The service with the one guy. Now he had help bringing stuff in, but taking all those orders and taking care of us was him. And
that's phenomenal.
It was just truly amazing, an experience. And we all, I don't know of anybody that had any complaints. And let me tell you, Paul Jones and his wife Susan, Paul is one of the beer dads on this network as well. Mm-hmm. They got the banana pudding cake, and it was as big as a wheel chalk. I mean, if you ran a car over that, it wasn't hard, but it was dense and it was huge. I'm sure you could go up on it if you needed to get a jack up under your lowrider. You can run up on that cake. It was so big. That was huge. But yeah, the Boston cream pie was fantastic. Their banana split or banana pudding cake looked great. I saw some other things come out. Christian and Corey, friends of ours. Christian and Corey. Mm-hmm. They took home 3 desserts, and I think Christian had some of it later that night because Corey was saying he was in a sugar coma. So it was great experience, and thanks to Zena and Mama Zoe and Chris and all the Michael family and all the to Nick and to Hannah, the GM over there that night, and to the kitchen staff for such a fantastic event and taking good care of us all, and with fantastic food. So thank you so very much to all of you. I love that family so much. Quiet Pint, awesome. They are. Quiet Pint is back open today. You remember last week they announced that they were closed on Monday for staff enrichment and training. At 5 o'clock that day, which is way after we record this podcast, they announced that they were closing for the whole week for remodeling. So they say they're back open today, and it's 12:30 when we're recording this on Monday. So maybe they are open for lunch now. I would call ahead just to make sure. But they announced this morning that they were opening. So still, it's always smart to call ahead. Spring House and Chef Tim Grinnetti are bringing back Doc Brownstone's Sweet Love Festival. Wednesday of this week, the 11th, is the secret 4-course dinner featuring NC-inspired mystery basket ingredients like Top Chef, or not Top Chef, but Chopped and things like that. so they have to make it nobody knows what's coming.
Right.
And it's served with some of North Carolina's
cool.
top wines. Yeah, I like the aspect of let these chefs who are somebody show it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if you can plan it, but it's something if you can think quick on the draw. I think that's pretty cool. That's $69 per guest, the 12th and the 13th, Thursday and Friday. Reception style culinary walkabout featuring amazing plates from 10 plus chefs and tapas style gathering. $75 per guest. And then Saturday, I'm pretty sure this is sold out, but you might want to call and check. The infamous and coveted bourbon dinner is described as a dinner of decadence that you won't want to miss. 5-course chef's tasting menu with cognac and cigars on the terrace after dinner. The bourbons are Blanton's, Woodford Double Oaked, Eagle Rare, Jefferson Oceans, and, like I like to say, the Mac Pappy of them all, Pappy Van Winkle, the 15-year-old version. Tickets for that is $275 per person. And you might think, well, there we go. I can't do that. But when you think of all that you're getting there, that is an amazing price.
It's a deal.
Yeah. So visit the website springhousenc.com or call 336-293-4797 for your reservations today. There are very limited seatings left, so call or sign up now. And the dates have changed. Eat, Drink, Burger Week has been moved to September the 19th through the 25th. After consulting with all the sponsors, restaurants, and others, they felt it was probably needed a little more time to get all this stuff ready. It's a week to celebrate culinary creativity, increase visibility and engagement with the food and beverage community, and drive dine-in and carry-out orders with just a little bit of healthy competition. This is brought to you by the Winston-Salem Journal, the Greensboro News and Record, and Eat, Drink, Triad. It will be a $10 one-off. So it's not something that's on the menu. It's a $10 masterpiece. Patrons will be invited to eat, drink, and vote online for their favorite burger, and that will be done via a QR code. So you have to be there for it. Champion will be presented with a trophy and bragging rights. Customers will be encouraged to share photos of their locations on Instagram for a chance to win a Yeti cooler. The Man Who Ate the Town is a media sponsor for this event. So for more information, contact the Winston-Salem Journal or the Greensboro News and Record at 336-727-7212. All right, so country spinner time.
Okay.
So Stephanie
We're
and
still in
I,
France?
yes, Stephanie and I concluded our trip to France last night, and we closed it out in style. We started the morning with Stephanie making crepes. She did that with Irish bangers. Now, I know Irish bangers are not French, but French have sausages, and that's what we had to choose from. So we went with that.
There you go.
She did the crepes plain, but she topped them with lemon curd and sugar-coated raspberries. That was delicious. And,
Sounds really good.
And while she made those, we listened to French music because we have a mini collection of French vinyl. So we just changed those in and out. And when we were eating, we watched French-themed No Reservations from Anthony Bourdain, just to, complete the theme. Then I made, you have to make it in advance, so I made the creme brulee because they had to sit in the fridge for up to 3 hours to set up. So, after that, I cut up some homemade fries with my Pampered Chef super mandolin that my mom got me. I kind of messed up with those, though. I should have done them in my new Instant Pot, which was the idea, but I totally forgot about it. And then I tried to bake them, and because I don't deep fry a lot of things, so I was trying to bake them, and they came out a little soft, but the flavors were good, so I'm happy about that. I used the mandolin then to thin slice the 3 onions, which was the basis for slicely thinned. I was thinly slicing these 3 onions, which was the basis for the French onion soup that I made. And I know we spent Saturday evening finding the right vessels for the soup and the creme brulee because we didn't have any of that. So we went to Bed Bath & Beyond and got some Corningware, that stoneware stuff that's oven, microwave, and dishwasher safe. And they were perfect size.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Everything was great there. Yeah. Earlier in the day, when making the creme brulee, I also made a maître d' butter with parsley, thyme, rosemary, shallots, salt and pepper, and butter, of course. That was great. We had purchased on Saturday 2 New York strips from our friends up here at Butcher's Block. And while the fries were baking, again, I should have used that damn Instapot, and the soup was finishing before broiling to get the Gruyere melted, I pan-fried the steaks, and when they were resting in their resting period, I added that maitre d' butter to the top to let it sit in, and I also gave it a little shot with the torch to melt it a little bit quicker.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
This is sounding really good.
Oh, it was, and they were, and the steaks were great, rare, medium rare, because that's how I like mine. I like them actually rare, but want it a little bit more than rare, but not quite full on medium rare. I like that in between spot. They were 145 degrees, which is, I believe, the correct temperature for medium rare. The soup, though, was amazing. Stephanie said she would marry me again just from that soup alone. So
that's saying something.
Yeah. Yeah, and even though the fries were a little undercooked, that damn Instapot again. They tasted great. I put a little sugar on each of the creme brulee ramekins, used the torch to caramelize the top, and voila. While there was Grand Marnier in the creme brulee, to me, no trip to Paris or France in general is complete without a dram or so of Grandma. So we had some Grand Marnier with it. It was such a great meal. We still have steak left over because we definitely wanted to have the dessert. So those strips were huge. We should have gotten one and cut it in half now, looking back on it. We had a great red wine from the Côte d'Aron region. I don't know the name of it, but it was delicious. It was very stone fruit, a lot of plum and dark cherries, stuff like that. It was really good. And so there will be pictures coming soon. We have spun the wheel, so we know what our next country is.
And
it is Yemen.
Yemen. Okay.
Now I told you I wanted a Middle Eastern country, preferably one that ended with Stan. But that's okay. This is in basically the same family. Yemeni cuisine, the best I can figure, is a little different than most of the Middle Eastern cuisine, which is good. I do know I'll have to pull back on the spice, as everything I've read states that the food will be spicy. Stephanie doesn't do spicy very well, so for all that, stay tuned, because Yemen is coming probably in 2 weeks. I got to have some time to do some studying and figure out what I want to make.
I was going to say, I couldn't tell you what Yemen cuisine even was.
I couldn't either until I started looking it up yesterday.
We're looking forward to exploring it with you.
Yeah, excellent. I like sharing it. So let's talk burgers. We have hit the 100 mark.
It's happened.
I added DB's Grill, which is where the former Hills Barbecue on Patterson Avenue is. We talked about that a few weeks back. Algernon Cash told me it was probably the best burger he's ever had in his life. So I had to add that. He virtually introduced me to the owner, Sherry Bottoms, who CB's Tavern, which she also owns, is named after her. And I believe the DB is her husband. I'm not sure, but I believe so. So I had an official burger from the Piedmont Aviation Snack Bar. I told you last week I was going to do that. And I believe Stephen went and had a breakfast sandwich or a biscuit or something. The burger I can't really talk about right now, but I will say people should try it. And
that says something right there.
Well, you should try it everywhere.
Very little, but
you should try it everywhere that I talk about. That way you have your own opinion to play against mine. when the ratings come out later this year.
Mm-hmm.
That was on Tuesday, and I went back on Wednesday and tried their steak and potato wrap. Now this I can talk about. This was cheese steak, cheese steak type steak, French fries, and some veggies. I think it was just taken in by that wrap. I don't really remember everything that was on it, but I got extra cheese on mine, and I got with onion rings, and the onion rings were good too. They were not too greasy, and they had plenty of onion flavor and texture. They were real onions. But the wrap was so good. And it wasn't huge. It was manageable. But, man, I would venture to say that wrap may change your life. I mean, seriously.
Wow.
It was that good.
It's that good.
It was that good. And the people are awesome, too. It's just it's a woman, her fiance, and her dad started it. And her dad's still working in there, but she's taking it over pretty much. And, she and the fiance. But it turns out that the dad is the brother of a classmate of mine from high school that before I knew Candy was my computer person. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, small world. That's what he said. This is a small world question. Do you know this person? I said, yeah. He said, that's my brother. Awesome. So, I get to support friends and stuff. So, so I would not balk on the Piedmont Aviation Snack Bar. It's righteous. It's tucked back, and if you don't know it's there, you don't know it's there. But as the new saying goes, if you know, you know. And you should know. It's right there on Liberty Street, right across from the airport, in the old credit union building. It looks like it's run down from the outside. It looks like it's not even open, but it is. So it's kind of the greasy spoon hole in the wall type thing, but it's not necessarily greasy spoon. The food wasn't greasy; it was really good, and you should go and enjoy it. You should, and try the burger, but definitely try that wrap.
I love when you find all new places, these little tucked away spots.
Yes, I love those things.
Correct me if I'm wrong too. Their pricing is probably very competitive.
Oh yeah, it's very, very competitive, and they are open for breakfast. I think 7 to 9:30 is the breakfast time, and then like 10 to there's some changeover, I guess, and then 10 to 1:30. Then they're closed.
Yeah.
So it's a lunch thing. You go for lunch and you're done, or breakfast. So
from there to probably 75% of Winston-Salem is like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's right there on Liberty Street. So you can go all the way up to Akron, come back down. You can go from downtown. That's how I do it. Go downtown. All that works out perfect.
Yep.
So, yeah. Well, the food holidays are sponsored by Carrabba's Italian Grill, located 587 South Stratford Road, and it is no chain. This is a responsible family of restaurants, Carrabba's and their owner partners, and we have one of those in our fold. Take the communities they serve very seriously, and for us, having the Daniel Butner as the proprietario of our Carrabba's certainly does not suck. They are promoting their family meals again, so feed up to 5. Some of your faves like lasagna, spaghetti, chicken parmesan, rigatoni, campagnolo, and the newest bundle, the chicken piccata. I was there Friday night, and I missed the window for the filet parmesan.
Oh, man, that sucks, because you were talking about it.
Yeah, however, they still had some left, so I got I got to try it. It was very interesting. It really tasted to me no different than a veal parmesan, like the same spices and everything. So I'm glad I tried it. But I can get veal parmesan and be just as happy, I believe. But the other things like Stephanie had the chicken piccata, and I tasted that, and that was really, really good. So that's a new menu item for them too. So definitely get over there and try some chicken piccata. Lemon caper sauce, white wine sauce on there, and it was just good.
Well, that sounds tasty.
Yeah, so if you're interested in having the family meal or just going and getting reservations or whatever, call or go to carrabba's.com and you can do all that. Order to go or make reservations there. All right, food. Today, the 9th of August, is National Rice Pudding Day. Which was what the dessert Corey got from Mama Zoe's. Christian ordered 3 other things, but Corey got rice pudding.
Christian has got like a whole. It's not a sweet tooth. It's like they're all sweet teeth.
Yeah, he's got a sweet mouth. Yes.
I didn't want to say it that way because
well, it doesn't sound good, but it's Christian and Corey, and I'm pretty sure they would laugh about it. So
you know it.
Yeah.
They'll repeat it.
Yeah. In 1842, the Webster-Ashburton Treaty was signed, ending the bloodless Pork and Beans War that happened from 1838 to 1839, a dispute over the boundary between the British colony of New Brunswick and the United States, U.S. state of Maine along the St. Croix River. Luckily, that was over. Not that
Pork and Beans.
Yeah, Pork and Beans War. Okay, so in 1854, this is not food related, but Henry David Thoreau's Walden was published on this date in 1854.
Oh.
It describes his 2 years of simple living near Walden Pond in Massachusetts. So in 1910, Alva Fisher of Chicago received a patent for an electric washing machine. It was assigned to Hurley Machine Company. This was not the first electric washing machine. There is still a dispute about who was the first, but he was given a patent for it. In 1978, France ended price controls on bread. And I had, obviously, we had French bread with the country spinner because, A, it's France, but you have to have that on top of the French onion soup. Because when you put that there, you need to keep the cheese from just melting into it. So you have that there to float on top, put the cheese on top, put it under the broiler until it's melted and ooey gooey. Yeah. Again, my wife said she would marry me all over again just because of that soup.
I'm going to have to come get some of that soup.
Yeah. In 1982, she says it was just as good as any she's had in a restaurant around here.
That's saying something because she's eaten at some amazing restaurants.
Yes, she has. In 1982, Diet Coke was introduced. And Tab fans everywhere went, oh, no.
Yuck.
Because I like Tab. I do not like Diet Coke. Something about saccharin over aspartame.
Don't like that appetite.
Not a fan.
Never have been.
Yeah, the 10th is National S'mores Day.
Ooh, I'll take some s'more of that.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, especially because of it being chocolate and other things. Mostly chocolate.
Exactly. And gooey crispiness as well. Yeah, it's what's not to like about a s'more.
Yeah. In 1814, again, don't usually talk about people who have been born on this show, but in 1814, Henri Nestle was born. In 1867, he invented an infant formula, the Farine Lactée, a substitute breast milk for infants unable to breastfeed. He sold the company in 1875, and the company kept his name and later expanded its products to include chocolate and condensed milk, and now own half the world, basically, because their brands go way beyond food. It's like it's them, Unilever, and like Kraft. Those own like almost all the food and
All the consumer brands.
consumer brand things. Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1833, Chicago was incorporated as a village. Its population was about 200.
And now that's just not even one building.
That's right. You have over 200 in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Let's see. In 1889, Dan Rylands patented a screw cap for bottles. He was employed at the Hope Glass Works in England. In 1897, in Germany, Dr. Felix Hoffmann created the first chemically pure form of acetylsalicylic acid, which is a whole lot easier when you just call it aspirin. I'll go with that. In 1920, Vermont.
Every time, let's just go with aspirin.
Yeah, just go with aspirin. In 1920, Vermont Maple Syrup Company registered Vermont made trademark, the blend of cane and maple syrup. That's all for that day. Let's move on to the 11th. 11th is...
Mine goes to 11.
It does go to 11. It's in the key of D minor, the saddest of all keys. August 11th is National Raspberry Bomb Day. I think we talked about that last year, what that was. I don't remember. I'm not looking it up right now.
Fair enough.
Let's see. In 1903, Satoru Kato of Chicago, who has, started just a few years before with 200 people, was issued the first patent for instant coffee. The patent application was filed in 1901 when his Kato Coffee Company produced the product of the Pan American, the coffee concentrate and process of making same. Introduced their product at the Pan American Expo in Buffalo.
Interesting.
In 1953, Dorothy Rogers of New York received a patent for cleaning swab for toilet bowls and the like. An improved Johnny Mop with a disposable cleaning pad was basically what it was. Johnny Mop. I've never heard it called that. Other than reading it here, I'm sure. In 1987, again, don't usually talk about births and deaths, but Clara Peller died. Do you know who Clara Peller was?
No.
Where's the
Mrs.
beef?
Peller?
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Yes,
that's funny. Yeah.
In 1992, the Mall of America opened in Minnesota. It was the largest shopping mall in the United States. And John Hughes died in 2009 on the 10th. We all kind of grew up with his stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it was Vacation or The Breakfast Club or Home Alone, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Thing about The Breakfast Club, and I can relate to that the most because I was the exact age of Anthony Michael Hall's character. I was a freshman in high school in 1985, just as he was. So, you were already out then, right?
Yeah, actually, I was just getting out, but it still really resonated with me.
Oh, yeah.
I did associate myself with Anthony Michael Hall's character. That was me. I was the geek, the nerd.
Yeah. You didn't bring a gun to school, though, did you?
Right.
and then he just got detention for bringing that gun to school.
I mean, it was such an amazing movie as a character study of each of the archetypes that we experience in high school.
Yeah.
You've got the jock and the bad boy and the pretty girl and the crazy girl and the geek, and it's like we all found somebody in there that we could relate to, and then discovering that they were really all more alike than they were different was revelatory for them and for so many.
That's right. Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Yeah. Watch out for those horns.
You wear tights? No, I don't wear tights. I wear the required uniform. Tights. So, all right. The 12th of August is National Toasted Almond Bar Day. It could have gone with, if I used that damn Instapot yesterday, National Julienne Fries Day.
You could have saved yourself so much time and effort.
And complaining. In 1851, on the 12th, Isaac Singer received a patent for the first sewing machine with a rocking treadle. Sewing machines had been previously patented, but his was revolutionary, having a rocking treadle design, continuous feed, and a straight vertical needle like modern machines. In 1883, the quagga, a zebra-like mammal of southern Africa, became extinct when the last mare at Amsterdam Zoo died. They had been hunted to extinction. In 1908, Henry Ford's first Model T, the Tin Lizzie, rolled off the assembly line. It seated two and sold for $825.
Wow. I'd love to get one for $825 now.
Oh yes, me too. And I have a couple of friends that have some. But
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
They're really cool cars.
In 1913, the National Biscuit Company, or Nabisco as we know it, registered the Oreo trademark that was introduced the year before. In 1930, on the 12th, Clarence Birdseye received a patent for a method to preparing food products by quick freezing them. In 1980,
that's only been less than 100 years.
Yeah, I know. In 1981, IBM introduced its PC, the PC DOS 1.0.
I remember that.
Yeah. Less than a month, in 2013, less than a month after ad firm Renew began anonymously collecting information about people walking past their Wi-Fi enabled trash cans, the City of London demanded the company put a stop to its practice.
Wow.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you get a lot of information about folks that way.
Yeah. The 13th is National Filet Mignon Day. It was O. Henry, the first to use the term filet mignon in his book, The 4 Million, in 1906. A French derivative, it means small or dainty fillet. Filet means boneless meat minus mignon equals small. So, they're not minus, but that's what it means. It's also National Prosecco Day. It's an Italian sparkling wine from Veneto.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think you should have those together. Great.
Yeah, it sounds great. Let's do it.
The 1913 true stainless steel was cast for the first time in Sheffield, England. Harry Brierley of Thomas Firth and Sons discovered how to make the steel that doesn't rust. It revolutionized the cutlery industry. In 1957, Noda Shoyo Company registered the Kikkoman trademark for soy sauce, first used in 1885. Now that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's what I hate math. That's a long time though.
A long time.
Yeah. 30. Almost 30 years. Actually over 30 years. 32 years. There we go. Way to go, Tim. Dumbass. Let's see.
Impressive.
Yeah, thanks. In 2004, again, Julia Child died 2 days before her 92nd birthday. American Cooking Authority cookbook author, TV show host. She was what a lot of Americans learned to cook from. And I remember seeing reruns of her stuff. The 14th is National Creamsicle Day. I like them. I like them.
Yep.
In 1765, a crowd in Boston gathered under a large elm tree to protest the Stamp Act passed by the British Parliament. The act imposed a tax on all paper items in the American colonies by requiring a special stamp. The Liberty Tree became a rallying point for resistance to British rule over the American colonies. When I was in Boston, we got to see that. Not it happened, but the tree. Obviously, I wasn't born then. In 1897,
You don't date that far back.
That's right. I'm old, but not that old. A record sturgeon was caught, 1,387 pounds. That's a lot of caviar right there.
That's an awful lot of caviar, yeah.
In 1956, the trademark chock full of nuts, the Heavenly Coffee, was registered by Federal Nut Company. And in 2003, a major outage knocked out power across the eastern United States and parts of Canada. 50 million people lost power. Finally, the 15th of August is National Lemon Meringue Pie Day. Let's see. In 1835, C.H. Farnham was issued a patent for a hand-cranked rotary washing machine. In 1848, M. Waldo Hanchett patented a dental chair. 1911, on the 15th, Crisco is introduced by Procter & Gamble. Crisco is a hydrogenated shortening made from vegetable oil, which keeps its solid form even in warm weather. I'm sure we all ate a lot of that as kids.
Yes. In fact, I still have some in the cabinet for that rare occasion when I decide I want to fry something.
Right on. Same one that you had when you were a kid, because it stays like that indefinitely.
Just about.
In 1914, the Panama Canal was officially opened when a ship sailed from the Atlantic to Pacific. Due to minor problems, cleanup operations in World War I, a grand celebration was delayed until 6 years later. In 1943, Sergeant Edward D'Souza received the Legion of Merit Award because of his talent to use food scraps in unusual and appetizing recipes. In 1969, on the 15th, the 3-day Woodstock Festival began on a dairy farm in upstate New York. And in 2009 in Detroit, GourmetGiftBaskets.com set a new record for the world's largest cupcake at 1,224 pounds. Again, how? How do they make it? There's no oven big enough for that. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand.
Inquiring minds need to know more.
That's true. That's your food history and holiday for this week. Special thanks to James Ealer at foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, and talk about things that can stay. Like we talked about margarine, 2 weeks ago? We're talking about Crisco today.
Yep.
It's Julienne Fries Day. Use your damn air fryer or your Instant Pot. Yeah. All that. Do it.
That's what it's for. Might as well use it.
That's right. Don't just let it sit there, not 4 feet away from you while you're making all this stuff. And the Man Who Hates the Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dads, Fan Interference, Beeswax Vinyl Daily, Wheeler's Dog, and Asylum Tales from the Devereaux Diaries. There may be new things coming. I don't know yet. You can find all these podcasts and latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You also find social media links to each one there as well. This is a reminder to everyone, all the listeners, and it's good practice, not just now, but for always. Get vaccinated and wash your damn hands. Wash with warm water and soap. Wash with that soap for 20 seconds or more. If you don't know how long 20 seconds is, sing this.
You saw me standing by the wall, corner of a main street, and the lights are flashing on your windowsill. All alone ain't much fun, so you're
One of the greatest rock bassists that gets no credit for his work, John Taylor of Duran Duran, is a fantastic musician. This song was released as a single from the Rio album on this day, 39 years ago.
Wow.
Yes,
I think it's been that far.
I know. 1982.
Wow. That was a good album.
It was. The whole album's fantastic. All right. Keep an eye on the blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send us an email, Tim or Ray or Leah at themanwhoatetown.com. You also contact us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter Instant Messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Man8 the Town. On Instagram, we are Man8 the Town. And now we invite you to call and leave voicemail for the podcast or any podcast on this network. You can call 336-422-6862. That's right, 336-422 NUM. Leave a voicemail and we'll play it on the podcast. Again, 336-422-NUM or 6862. Well, my name's Tim.
My name's Ray.
And we're closing the recipe trunk. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.